Hello, I'm Sally Roth, and I'm sharing my story from Kansas. We are in a very unique time in our lives. Whether we want to or not, we're making history. We are invited to an awakening to listen to that small voice, that urging you feel when action is needed. Because God could use you today. Doctrine and Covenants, section 162, 1b. Listen to the voice that echoes across the eons of time and yet speaks anew in this moment. Listen to the voice, for it cannot be stilled. It calls you once again to the great and marvelous work of building the peaceable kingdom, even Zion, on behalf of the one whose name you claim. Listen, because God could use you today. I have a story to share. This past October and November, I was on the Holy Land tour with the Historic Sites Foundation. We traveled through Jordan, Israel, and Egypt, stepping into the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, the Sea of Galilee, the Jordan River, the Nile River. We saw wonders, and we were amazed. Perhaps being in such a different part of the world than my own, I was able to identify and see through new lenses how powerful the enduring principles are to our faith and for the building of the peaceable kingdom. Each day, I witnessed the joy of blessings of community, the value of affirming the worth of all persons, the importance of unity and diversity, of making responsible choices, and the need of grace and generosity, and the value of sacredness of creation. We were admonished on the tour not to stop, interact, or make eye contact with street vendors. I really did not see beggars, but everyone, everywhere, was selling something, constantly and smothering. Constantly, everyone was wanting something from you. And if you made contact or attempted pleasantries, more would come. It was difficult to say no so often and just continue walking. Virtually all the street vendors were men. It was day 9 of our pilgrimage. 51 of us were in Old Jerusalem. We had walked miles through the narrow streets, full of crowds, vendors, shops. I had to stay focused so that we could stay together, be safe, and yet still treasure the moment of where we were and reflect on the sacred. After having visited Antonio's fortress, where Jesus was brought before Pontius Pilate, we walked the Via Dolorosa, and there she was, this woman in black, all alone with a bouquet of herbs. She caught my eye, but I moved on. Our guide led us through the historic Church of the Holy Sepulchre before cutting us loose so we could explore the house of worship on our own. Again, I saw the woman in black with her bouquet of herbs. We left the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and a short distance away found an open area in the courtyard surrounded by shops with local restaurants where we sat and enjoyed lunch together. And there she was again, and again. I felt an urge to go to her, and that became stronger and stronger each time I saw her. Each time I saw her, I justified that I was just too busy. I needed to remain with my group. I assumed she was selling herbs, and what would I do with herbs on a bus? It was easier to turn away, but there she was again, a woman alone in a black dress, holding only a bouquet of herbs. Then we moved on and continued our journey. I was supposed to meet the woman in black. I understand that now. It wasn't what I thought I was supposed to do. Don't look at the street vendors, the peddlers. It was not convenient. What would I do with a bouquet of herbs? I was on a bus tour. I didn't have time, but I did have excuses. I was to meet the woman in black. I will never know if I was to look her in the eyes and smile, because she too is a child of God. Or was I to receive her blessing? I missed the moment. I missed the urging because God could have used me that day. As we are faced with this pandemic, know that God could use you today. Doctrine and Covenants, section 162, 1b. Listen to the voice that echoes across the eons of time and yet speaks anew in this moment. Listen to the voice, for it cannot be stilled, and it calls you once again to the great and marvelous works of building the peaceable kingdom, even Zion, on behalf of the one whose name you claim. Listen to the voice, that urging. Make that call. Write that note. Donate. Bring a message of hope, because God could use you today. Thanks for listening.